Oh, hi guys, welcome to the latest episode of Cricket Draft Insight. Just want to do a bit of a catch-up video on how the Big Bash is going. I'm doing quite well actually, ignoring the fact that Sean Abbott is getting struck for a boundary every ball at the time of recording. Started today in 44th place, which, like I say, really encouraging. I was down in about 300th at one point. I did semi-seriously, jokingly say I was aiming for the top 50 at the start of the campaign. So yeah, 44th. We're nearing the end of the sort of league format stage. It's going to be really interesting to see over the next few days, next week, get an idea, get confirmation of which teams are going through to the knockout stages. I think I'm reasonably well set up, although I do have 3 Perth Scorchers players, and that's all gone to pot. But I'm well set up with some of the other teams that are going through, and hopefully Hobart Hurricanes with double game week game still to go this week. I do really think that in this competition, the value of having a 15-player squad has been highlighted. So go back to particularly in the beginning, there were a lot of injuries. There was a lot of movement between the Test squad, and now there's movement. Going to the International League, the UAE League, and obviously we can't always predict injuries. I had injuries, and it's only twice that I've had an actual sub come in. And there was only I think it was one rained off game. But I do think some people were saying they were left with only 8 or 9 players. If you had 11 players and you just had 4 really cheap subs, admittedly, a few of the cheap subs are getting a bit of game time now. But if you had 4 cheap subs who weren't playing, and then you did have some players that were injured, and a lot of people said to me, you've got to pick Matt Shaw, you've got to pick Tom Curran, people like that. And obviously, if you do go for those more expensive players, you're more inclined to have the cheaper subs. But I just think before we even consider subs actually coming in, it just gives you more flexibility. You've got a playing squad, and then you get to next week, and it's like, okay, this team's got a double game week. This one isn't playing. You can shuffle it about a bit. Then you've got 2 transfers as well, before we even consider going anywhere near paid transfers, which a few people are doing. I've said it before, fine by me, because if you want to give me a 75 point, 150, 225 point head start, then thank you very much. In the county championship, I think you can maybe get away with not necessarily having proper subs. Most games start at the same time on the same day, and you can maybe manage that. But as I say, I do think in this competition, you go back to even the Sam Bancroft incident, things like that. I know that was during a game, so the points weren't counted. But just week by week and double game weeks and everything that's been going on. I like I say, I reiterate, I do think person in first place might tell me otherwise, but I do think that having a proper playing squad, has really paid dividends. So please let me know how you're getting on. What's your strategy for the the latter stages of the competition? What you're planning on doing in the final week? Have you got any googlies left? I've used mine. Fortunately, everybody's playing. So at the moment, it's Tom Rogers, 45 points. Be nice if Matt Kuhneman took another 3-wicket haul tomorrow and gave me a bit more of a boost. Already used my double captain, which didn't really go to plan. The likes of Jack Edwards, Paul Walter, some of those all-rounders, key all-rounder roles we spoke about, not really fired on all cylinders. So it'll be interesting to see, if even the Melbourne Stars could get through, and your Glenn Maxwell and Bo Webster, etc. So we'll see what happens. But I've been fortunate with Tim David in the runs the past week or two. Got some runs the other day, didn't he? 250s before that. Ashton Turner got me some runs. Who's always one I've been a little, as much as I like him, about maybe 5 or 6, and then doesn't bowl. Does he always score runs? But those guys, even though they're a bit lower down the order, have reaped the rewards with some points. And they've had some good bowling contributions from the likes of Behrendorff, Thornton, O'Neill, Rogers. I brought Dwarshuis and Abbott in. Hopefully they're going to take some wickets. Seem to have, the opposite of the Midas touch with signing those, but hopefully they come off. Chris Green and stuck with him, and he took wickets. But anyway, yeah, just a few thoughts. Really enjoying it, getting me through the winter, getting me through work in the morning. But hope you're enjoying it. Thank you very much for watching. All the best in the rest of the competition. How's that?